do you think about the feedback loops that lead to a book? So in other words, let's say there's coaching calls, articles. What are the different feedback loops you have to say eventually have something bubble up and say, okay, wow, this I should focus on?
Yeah, that's a super good question. I don't know if I've actually thought too deep about that. Like, for example, with Who Not How, Dan was the feedback loop. He's been coaching for like 44 years, and that was a new insight he got that was mind blowing. And everyone, he built it as the central concept in his coaching program because of all the feedback he got that this was the most amazing idea. So for me, I just said, Dan, I really like that idea. It resonates with me. I'm seeing that a ton of other people love it. Can I do a book on that? Can I write your
Yeah,
book
that's a good
on
one.
that?
Yeah. He's already done all the market research over
He
decades.
did all that. So. And with The Gap and the Gain, which is the next book we're going to do together, that was the one idea out of all that I learned from him that struck me most. I stuck it in Personalities and Permanent. I thought it was so good. And I've tested it so much on my audience that I'm like, I just like this idea so much. I feel like that's, and I guess kind of like the whole bullets before cannonballs. I now probably view books more like bullets, whereas in the past I probably viewed them like cannonballs.
Oh,
so
interesting.
like where I used to think articles were bullets and books are cannonballs, I probably now view books as bullets, where it's like, if I throw out, and I'm not just doing it in pure experimentation form, but I'm less attached to the outcome of each book. And I'm getting better and better at launching them. Like in the past, launching a book was an ordeal, whereas now it's not that stressful. And also I'm not as tied to the launch.
Right. That this book isn't going to be the one book that makes or breaks you.
No, Tucker kind of taught me to look at books like annuities. It's something that exists long into the future. And, if you keep growing your career, like it'll pay you back for the rest of your life. And some books like the 80-20 rule are going to be, like businesses, they're going to be the ones that produce pretty much 80% of your revenue. But what I've found is that you often don't get to that really good one without burning through
quantity. Yeah.
And I'm just not, I'm not that, I'm okay if I crank out various books that aren't that successful.
Yeah. That's a great mindset. I can feel, it's interesting when I'm going to this new medium of book writing, I could definitely feel like I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself to have this one book that does so much better. And that's definitely really slowing down the process. So there's a lot.
But if you love that book, which I know that this is an idea you've really solidified, like if you're really behind that book for, let's just say 3 to 5 years, kind of like James Clear with Atomic Habits, that one book could probably take you further than if you just spread between like
a lot,
let's just say 5 to 8 books. So if you're really big on this idea, you already know it's valid. And if you take it further than you've taken it and further than anyone else could take it, and then you invest big in spreading it for a few years, that one book could be a very successful vehicle to getting you wherever you want to go. So
yeah,
there is value in approaching it that way.